Alright, yes, we are live again. Welcome to week 4 of the Renaissance Pokemon Week. We're gonna be taking on the Montgomery Mews and Coach Chara, and despite what their record may seem, they're a really tough opponent. They're one of my good friends in draft, and made it really hard to prep for because I won't usually get my usual help because the person that usually helps me prep is gonna be helping them prep, which is fine with me. So, yeah, but this is a really tough game to prep for me, and you can see why in a few. But yeah, so you can see my team on the left and her team on the right. My team, you got Weavile, Latios, Arcanine, Togekiss, Nidoqueen, Hitmontop, Lantern, Dunsparce, Cradily, Bronzong. And then their team, they got Gengar, Garchomp, Ninetales, Hitmonlee, Illumise, Shiftry, Vaporeon, Tangrowth, Fortress, and Snorlax. So, Gengar, it recently got banned to BDSP Ubers, which kind of surprised me, but, I mean, eh. What's running a good normal type anyways. But Gengar can be really scary with specs. It gets access to Nasty Plot, can run Life Orb, Focus Sash, and Scarf too, which I find is interesting in this game. Because it'll guarantee outpace like Specs Latios, and it can slap Weavile unexpectedly. And yeah, Garchomp, it's really like a Swiss Army knife. It can be defensive, it can be offensive, but yeah. In this game, I feel like they're either bringing Garchomp or Gengar Scarf in this game, or they just bring Garchomp like banded and just, yeah. Or they could bring Yachi for Weavile, which could put me in a bit of a tough spot because my first instinct is going to be to Ice Shard because Garchomp just nukes Weavile if it doesn't. The Latios can come in and pick up the slack. But yeah, Garchomp's a very tough Pokemon, and yeah. Now, on to Ninetales. This is one Pokemon that I was worried about, like, because offensive, like, Nasty Plot, Ninetales, and Sun just destroys my team. Like, I don't have a switch in. Or they just run, like, Specs Ninetales or something. Like, I don't really have the safest switch-ins to a Fire Blast in the Sun. I mean, I have Arcanine and, like, Lantern, but Lantern ain't taking on Solar Beam, and Arcanine kind of gets stopped cold by Garchomp, and later on Vaporeon. So, yeah, I was really worried about Ninetales in this game. Next up was Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee, I felt like could be controlled. One option that was brought up in prep was the potentiality of like a Scarf Reckless Hitmonlee. I know, I know she's also brought like Curse Wider with Unburden, which is a good set. But Hitmonlee can also run Rapid Spin, which can alleviate some stress on Fortress. And yeah. Um, Also, it's worth mentioning that Hitmonlee does get a lot of good priority for like Latios and Weavile with like Bullet Punch and like Mach Punch, respectively. So that could be something to watch out for. And yeah. So Illumise, it's the same thing I said about like Volbeat in my week 1 game. Not really expecting it to be brought, but if it does, it's going to be running like Prankster T-Wave shenanigans with U-Turn. It's a one-trick pony, but that one trick is pretty darn good against my team. So, yeah. Shiftry, Shiftry pairs up really well with Ninetales, as Ninetales provides Sun, and Shiftry has Chlorophyll, access to growth, and a decently diverse physical and special move pool, so it can use that growth very good and can keep you guessing. I'm not really expecting Shiftry this game because grass types in general just hate my team. Because, I mean, do you want to bring a grass type against a Weavile, an Arcanine, a Togekiss, a Nidoqueen, a Hitmontop? Not a Hitmontop. Hitmontop maybe. Hitmontop has some usefulness against Shiftry specifically, but like, Against like Weavile, Latios, Arcanine, Togekiss, and Nidoqueen, do you really want to bring a grass type? And then you got Cradle Eat a Wall, and then Bronzong too. Do you really want to bring a grass type against that? That's kind of my philosophy with them, or if they don't bring Shiftry. If they do bring Shiftry, then I just go Weavile or just go Togekiss and just try to beat it. But next up's Vaporeon. Now in prep, like I was saying, about 13 that they didn't really have a lot of good specially offensive threats, and then I jokingly said, yeah, I'd bring Specs Vaporeon, and yeah, so Vaporeon, although offensive is funny, I don't think it makes sense because defensive Vaporeon just sits on this team. Like, it really does. Just bring, like, Wish Protect, Scald, Ice Beam or something, and it'll be hard to stop. But, yeah, I was really worried about Vaporeon in prep, and, yeah. So, next up was Tangrowth. Tangrowth, it's pretty much, it's like a very physically bulky grass type. No real special defense, but I don't think they're going to bring it because same reason as Shiftry, grass types just hate my team. But Tangrowth, if it does come, probably going to see like knockoff, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, stuff like that. I don't really have a lot to say about Tangrowth. It can be annoying with Regenerator, but I don't see it coming. It doesn't really like taking on special moves, and when you know that one Pokemon's going to be Specs, you don't really want to bring it. And then it just looks absolutely terrible against Arcanine, Togekiss, and Nidoqueen. And Weavile, and you know at least one of those is coming. Fortress is another Pokemon that I think could be good for them to bring. Gets access to Spike Stacking, Spin, and Volt Switch, and it gets like Gyro Ball and Earthquake. So, Fortress could be a neat option for them, especially if paired up with like a Wish Vaporeon. So, yeah. And then last up is the thing that I was so worried about. I built this team like Sunday, and is like Wednesday, I think. No, it's like Tuesday, I think. Because after Tuesday, I didn't touch my team because I was just so busy with homework. But on Tuesday, I was just like, oh no, I don't have anything for Curse Snorlax. So yeah, Curse Snorlax kind of 6-0s my team. Just really bulky normal types that could set up just give my team so much grief. And yeah. But anyways, that's enough about their team. Let's get into my team. So first off, we are bringing Choice Specs Latios. 252 speed, 252 special attack, 4 Spadef. Standard Latios, pretty much. Draco Meteor, Psychic, T-Bolt, Ice Beam. Good solid coverage against their team. Draco Meteor is going to be hitting so hard because they don't have a switch into it. I don't care what you say, Fortress is not a switch in. Like, if they are not max HP, max Spadef, with a Spadef boosting nature, Latios 2-shots it. Because 2 Dracos, even like with the special attack drop, like, if I get one hit off on it, like a neutral Specs Draco is going to be doing like 70, I think. And then over 2 turns, Draco Meteor is going to kill the Fortress. And if not, then I want to be slapping something pretty hard. Psychic, good solid stab move, Ice Beam and T-Bolt, give me good solid coverage. How many times I won't say good solid, but it gives me solid coverage against their team. And yeah. So, and the speed is just a speed tile like max speed Timid Gengar, which I think they have to bring since I have a Latios. Next Pokemon is going to be Weavile. This is literally the same Weavile I brought last week. Like, it's amazing like how little these sets change. But pretty much, like, if you're an opponent prepping for me, you gotta know by now that we're bringing Icicle Crash, Throat Chop, Brick Break, Ice Shard. One thing that I actually did not know in this game is that Weavile does not get Low Kick in BDSP, which is crap, but whatever. Because I would have brought Low Kick over Brick Break 100% of the time, but sadly it doesn't get it. I don't know why, but the 136 speed allows me to outpace Gengar at max speed, providing it's not scarfed. Choice Band, this thing has barely any switch-ins, and yeah, but like, yeah, this is the same thing I brought last week. Now, here is where it gets very interesting. This is so. I know I mentioned earlier in the team build how I had nothing for Curse Snorlax. I was doing mock battles and I was in shambles because I could not find anything to beat Curse Snorlax. And then I just started thinking, like, what do I do? I gotta bring Sock up on something. Because I don't think anything on my team got the move Punishment, and even then, it probably wouldn't have done much since that's a physical move, and it wouldn't be hitting that hard physically on Snorlax because it would be up to like +3 defense, and it likely has max HP. But then I got to thinking, how can I use their boost against me, and just like, how do I beat this thing? And then it occurred to me that Psych Up exists. Now what Psych Up does is it copies the stat changes of the target. So if Snorlax is set up like let's say 5 curses. Say if somehow it set up 5 curses, which was absolutely the plan. So it'll have -5 speed, +5 attack, and then +5 defense. And I would copy that, so Togekiss would have -5 speed, +5 defense, and +5 attack as well. And this is where my item comes in. If you'll notice here, we have the White Herb item, which restores all lowered stat changes to 0 when one is less than 0. Once I Psych Up and just copy the Curse stats, this White Herb it'll like put the speed back to like the base. So yeah, another thing that I noticed in prep and like in mocks against myself, because yeah, whatever it takes, I guess. But another thing I noticed is that if I don't like get this thing in when Snorlax is like at +6 or something, or just done setting up, quote unquote, it'll be a little difficult for me to beat Snorlax if they get Parahacks. So this is where my EV spread comes in. Initially I had 248 HP, 120 defense, 140 Spadef, and no speed. But I took 16 out of Spadef to put it into speed because I found out that a paralyzed -6 speed Togekiss speed ties Snorlax at -6 speed. The 16 speed will put me just above Snorlax at -6 if I'm paralyzed. It's really specific, but I think it'll save me. The 120 defense is so that way Body Slam doesn't do as much, and the 124 Spadef is so I have a chance to live Spec Sludge Bomb from Gengar. And yeah. Aside from that, Air Slash, Nasty Plot, Roost. My plan is to get this thing in on Snorlax after it's set up a few curses. Psych up the damage, or psych up the boost, Roost, Nasty Plot, Air Slash, flinch it to death. And maybe try to win if Gengar isn't around. But into my next Pokemon. I forgot I put the best sets back to back. So we got Calm Mind, Psychic, Protect, Flash Cannon, and Prep. I was just like, Bronzong can just win. Like if Gengar and Ninetales are down, Bronzong can just win. I can weed. My point is to weed this on Fortress if it comes and Ninetales doesn't. But my point is to weed this on Fortress, Calm Mind up, and just win. That's the plan. 112 special attack to make things hit a little harder. I think it'll also guarantee to hit KO Snorlax at like +6, I think. If it's like max HP, max speed F. And 240 HP, 148 defense, I think. Let me think. I think that was a Curse Snorlax count. Make sure I live a, wait, actually, 240 HP was just generally for, like, to make this thing as bulky as I can make it, and the 148 is what was left over, I think. That's just like, yeah, I better invest physically, so that way, because I'm going to be boosting my special stats anyways. But Protect was originally Stealth Rocks, but you'll see why I ditched it later, so, yeah. But that's Bronzong. The plan here is just to weed it on Fortress if it comes and Ninetales doesn't, and try to win. So my next Pokemon's Nidoqueen. So, Nidoqueen has Earth Power, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Sludge Wave with a Choice Scarf, and Modest Nature. This thing just hits everything so hard. Earth Power, Ice Beam, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower hits everything neutrally or super effectively. And, yeah. This is going to force my opponent to make some reads they may not want to make, and reads I don't want to make either, but whatever, that's besides the point. But, yeah, point is, Nidoqueen just swaps their team around, and, yeah. My final Pokemon is going to be Cradily with Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Recover, and Stealth Rocks, Calm Nature with max HP, max speed F. This is just generally a special sponge, because this is designed to take on Vaporeon. I found out the hard way in prep that, like, I don't have any Vaporeon answers, and this was more reliable than Lantern for me because I have reliable recovery, and Stealth Rock can alleviate some pressure on Bronzong. But Lefties, just for longevity, Recover for longevity, Storm Drain so that way Vaporeon can't just scald me, and yeah. But that was my team, and I guess I'll see you on the match. Now, the match is going to be a post-commentary because I recorded and I messed up my layout, so I'm just going to do a post-com with no layout because that's going to be a lot easier on me. But, yeah. Anyways, I will see you all in the battle. Let me just do this and, well, see ya. Okay, so here we are in the battle. Let me switch sides real quick. So, in this game, I was expecting them to bring Snorlax, Garchomp, Fortress, Vaporeon, Gengar, and then Ninetales instead of Illumise, but they brought Illumise, so right here, at this, it feels weird to say at this stage in the match, because the match has literally just begun, but like, right here, I'm just thinking, they leaving Fortress now. They leaving Fortress. They're gonna leave Fortress, and I convinced myself of that, so I went Bronzong. Bronzong, like, I could probably, like, say that I'm going for rocks, and if they leave Fortress, then they'll probably, like, trade away our spots for some rocks, and then they can spin it away, and maybe, yeah. So, I was thinking of calm minding up on the Fortress, so that way I could just win. Because you didn't have, like, any real way to beat me. Because Gengar couldn't beat me at, like, +2. Even if it was specs. Illumise does nothing. Vaporeon's probably going to be defensive. Garchomp maybe could do something if it had Crunch. And Snorlax maybe could do something if it had Crunch. But, like, yeah. Bronzong generally just won, so... Okay. Thank you, Showdown, for giving me a heart attack. Sorry if that gave you a heart attack too, guys. God, I don't like Showdown sometimes. I should have just quit play with music off. Alright, but, anyways. So they went Vaporeon. So, I went Bronzong here. Now, I was just like, this is defensive. They're gonna quit Scald, so I'm just gonna quit Calm Mind here. And they do Scald, and it does 50. So I'm over here in shambles right now. I'm just gonna, after I quit Calm Mind, I'm just over here in shambles right now, deciding what I want to do. Now, what I did here in hindsight was really dumb, but at the time I thought it held merit. So right here, I knew it was Specs. Like, I knew this was Specs Vaporeon, because there's no way in heck that did not do that much if it wasn't Specs. I know Vaporeon has a pretty high special attack stat, but like, there's no way that would not have done that much to a Bronzong. So, I knew this was Specs. Like, I knew it was Specs. I did the calc, knew it was Specs. I should have doubled to Cradily. I should have switched. Well, not really double. I should have switched to Cradily. I really should have. I got a bit in my own head here because I was just like, what if they like go for something else or like go Gengar or something? But that wasn't really feasible. The rationale I went with here was, okay, what does Bronzong do? It doesn't beat Snorlax anymore, because Snorlax just crunches it twice and it's done. Illumise just gets stock cold by Togekiss anyways. Fortress, it could maybe set up, but now with it being burned, I can't protect stall and just recover health. Gengar will beat it and Chomp will beat it, so I'm just like, this thing's useless, I'm gonna sack it. Which was pretty dumb in hindsight, but it didn't end up costing me the game. So I Psychic here, get as much damage as I can, and yeah. So I go Cradily here, and they go Fortress as Stealth Rock, and now I go Nidoqueen. So they Rapid Spin, they get the crit, which is unfortunate. And you're starting to see a bit of a theme here of hacks. Which, if you thought that was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet, son. But yeah, so they get the spin crit, which is whatever. So I was thinking here, they're definitely switching. So I went for Ice Beam. In case they went Garchomp, I should have Quick Earth Power. But they go Snorlax. I should have Quick Earth Power in hindsight. And they get the Body Slam Para first try on Cradily too. So yeah, my plan here is to let it set up to +6. I got my rocks up because I knew breaking sashes was going to be important and sturdy on Fortress. I knew that was going to be important. So let me get my mouse off that. So they're pretty much trying to beat me at +2 because they think they only need +2 to win. But I want them to go up to +6. Let me skip a few of these turns. So they eventually do set up to +3, and they knock me out with some para hacks. I probably could have stalled out a bit more body slams, but I didn't. So here I quick Psych up, and this is where the game starts to turn in my favor. So go for that nasty plot. They don't get the body slam para, and I start flinching them. And I miss the air slash, and they get the body slam para on this turn. I was mad this turn in the live comm that I'm not gonna release because I don't like it. And I'm just roosting up, trying to get as much recovery as I can to make sure that this Snorlax doesn't beat me. So air slash doesn't get the flinch, they curse again, and I'm over here in shambles. trying to do this. And eventually, so here they went for Facade. I'm not sure why they didn't just go Body Slam. But, okay, so they finally give me the Snorlax after a long battle. That went on for so much longer than I thought and I'd hoped for. Literally, if Wax didn't get the para, it would have been over like 10 turns ago. So they go Gengar here, and I'm just like, yeah, they got a Sludge Bomb here. So I'm gonna preserve Togekiss because it still has usefulness in limiting the Illumise and the Garchomp. And sure enough, they do Sludge Bomb. So I'm getting a bit of momentum back. And Nidoqueen just quits Earth Power. Vaporeon, since it invested all of its EVs into special attack and just HP in general, it's not too terribly bulky now. So Earth Power 2 shots it, and we move on. So Garchomp comes out, and immediately I'm thinking, oh god, they may be Scarf. So I'd I'd go into Latios, which I would have went into Togekiss, but then I realized, oh, Latios can just quit Draco. So right here I was thinking, should I Psychic or T-Volt in the Fortress switch? And I just opted to Quake Draco because Fortress was going to drop anyways, Illumise drops, Gengar drops, and Garchomp will drop. So they Earthquake, as I thought they would, and they bring out Fortress. So I just Quake Draco here. Does 73, which I think was a max roll, but like it was getting 2-shot anyways. And then they double into Illumise, which I didn't really get. I didn't really get why they doubled, and it ended up costing them the game. So right here, I quit Draco because Draco was going to kill the Fortress, and Draco kills the Illumise. So Illumise is down. That crit definitely mattered, but then again, I just go like Togekiss or something. The ending of this game was pretty messy, but honestly, I was just thankful to get some hacks in my favor. But yeah, but if I were them, I probably like they said post game they were either gonna quit T Wave or U turn here. If they quit T Wave, then barring any para hacks, Latios gets the kill on this, and then I'd be forced out by like probably Garchomp. I get forced out by the Garchomp. They probably will have to quick like Dragon Claw, in which case I go Togekiss. Togekiss can, which you see later, Togekiss like can live like a Stone Edge or whatever, but even if they do kill me with a rock move, I can just go Nidoqueen. And Nidoqueen can kill that thing with Ice Beam. Though they did have Yachi Berry after, so it would have been close. This game would have definitely been a lot tougher if this thing lived, but I feel like my play would have been to go Togekiss on this anyways and just preserve Latios because I was hyper aware. Like, I was very aware of T-Wave shenanigans. So I probably would have doubled into Togekiss or like Nidoqueen and just let the rest work itself out. But anyways, Draco Meteor kills. I finally get some good hacks. And then they go Garchomp. They Dragon Claw as I expected them to. And they reveal Rock Slide, so they reveal they're not choiced. I get the Air Slash off, and at this point, the game's pretty much over because I just go Latios again, Psychic, and Gengar. Gengar, if it was Specs Gengar, it would have been a speed shot. My play here was to just like sack Latios anyways, because Weavile and Nidoqueen would have been able to clean up. So if they're Scarf, then like... So if they're Scarf, then I probably Like, I think I have a chance to live if I'm Scarf, but if they're Specs, I definitely don't live. So, yeah. But regardless, my play here was just to let Latios go down, and that's what I did. But Latios didn't go down. So, a Psychic killed a Gengar, another crit, but that crit did not matter. And they forfeit the game. Fortress would have made things a little harder if they, like, gyro balled, but I mean, like, Nidoqueen would have lived, and even if they EQ'd on the read, I think Nidoqueen lived the EQ anyways, but then I just bring like Latios or Weavile in again and pick up the kill. So it didn't really matter. And yeah, so we pick up the win there. Again, I'm sorry about like the not live commentary. I did record it, but I got the layout wrong, and I'm just not adjusting to using a layout well. I keep forgetting to update it during the game, and yeah. But anyways, that's week 4 of the RPL. Next week we're going to be taking on the Kangas Kid and the ETSU Amalgus, which was my team before me and my friends just swapped our team names around. So yeah, they're 3-0 right now. We're actually tied for first place. They're 3-0 plus 10. I'm 3-0 plus 10. Well, 4-0 plus 13 now, but yeah, you get the picture. And another thing that's really exciting is if we win one more game, we're probably clinched for playoffs, but I want to get that #1 seed because reasons. But anyways, I guess I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, thanks for bearing with me on this game. This was a really tough game to record and just to play in general. Um, I was out of town, and then like literally as soon as I came back, I was playing the game. Like there was little downtime for me. I played the game, I recorded it, I recorded the live com of it, which I ain't releasing because the live com was garbage. And yeah. But anyways, I'll see you in the next game. So yeah.